Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon. Good evening and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits. All that good stuff. Man, we got some breaking news on the story I haven't talked about in a very, very long time. But I did want to share this with you guys because nonetheless, it is still it's shocking and major news in my personal opinion. And hopefully we're going to get closer to finding the truth on what actually happened to this young mother of three. Let's keep it real. Man, oh man, some major developments have gone down, and maybe by the end of day, maybe we'll have some new updates and some more developments in this Ana Walsh case. This is big. In my personal opinion, this is a big deal. We've been sitting on this story for months now. For months. And now we're finally getting somewhere. But remember Brian Walsh, one of the world's dumbest monsters out here. Don't worry, I'm going to give you guys a quick trip down memory lane as well. But of course, we're going to get into the main piece, which is a huge deal, in my personal opinion. And hopefully by the end of this day, or maybe by the end of this week, we will find out some real news. And maybe we can get closer to justice for this mother. Okay. So let's get into this. We got a lot to do. We don't have a whole lot of time, unfortunately, today, guys, but please do me a favor. Hit that like button, some housekeeping. Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on Facebook, my Facebook fam. What up, though? Hit that Facebook like reaction button down below. All right. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button on YouTube. Send it past 300 likes as you start to file in. This is breaking news as of the last little bit here, okay? So I ran home, got on here, and I'm giving you guys the updates right now. So hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Be great to have you part of the Pascal Show family. If you're watching on Facebook, don't forget to hit that follow button. Come on, y'all. Hit that follow button. Your boy's working hard out here in these streets, okay? And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure to share, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that were following this case and may have forgotten and all that. So we're going to give you a breakdown, a little refresher, but also we're going to give you the updates right about now. So hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button on Facebook. Let's get into the nitty gritty. We got to get into this, y'all. Okay, guys. All right. I'm sure if you are watching this right now, you know a little bit about this story or about this case. All right. The case of Ana Walsh. She is a 39-year-old mother of three who went missing out of Cohasset, Massachusetts after midnight on New Year's Day. Her husband, or that weird looking dude on the left of the screen, is her husband. His name is Brian Walsh. He was the last person to see his wife. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of developing information. We're going to get into that in a little bit. There's been stuff where he was found going to a Home Depot, picking up all kinds of random things, paying in cash, wearing surgical gloves, paying in cash. Of course, he had a very, very suspicious search history on his computer. He was on the Googles, loves. And on the Googles, he said things like how to dispose of body, so on and so forth. We're going to take a trip down memory lane. I promise you that. We're going to, I'm going to refresh you guys because even myself, because I haven't talked about this story in so long, I needed a refresher. Hence the reason why it took a little bit to get started here live. So we will be getting to that in just a minute. But there is some developing news that you guys need to know. That I'm sure y'all like, just get to the point, which I'm going to give you right now. Okay. So if you are still new to the case, we are going to do a trip down memory lane. What led up to this moment right here. But the moment that we all been waiting for is finally underway. A search connected to the disappearance of Ana Walsh has started. So let's get into this. And don't worry, like I said, I'll circle back to this. We're going to get to this. We're going to get through this. And then we're going to start from the beginning and go through the whole thing up to right here. So, big developing news, guys. A search connected to the disappearance of and the unaliving of Cohasset, Massachusetts mother, Ana Walsh, is underway. Hold on, let me make sure I see the chat, guys. Let's not forget that. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys so much for filing in. All right, so Ana Walsh is underway Tuesday in a wooded area of Peabody. A source tells 5 investigates. Don't worry, we got a news clip we're going to be looking at as well. Ana Walsh, 39, was last seen in her house after midnight on New Year's Day and reported missing by her employer a few days later. Now, her husband, the monster, the alleged monster, but let's be real, this dude did it. Okay? Let's just say that. All right. He did tell me you did it without telling me you did it. But he is being charged with her demise. Tuesday's search site between Interstate 95 and a shopping center on Bourbon Street, less than 1 mile from a transfer station where several items connected to the case were found in January, including a hacksaw and a rug with red on it. I got to use these code words, unfortunately, guys. Let me make sure I blow this up a little bit bigger for you guys. Ana Walsh's remains have not been found, but those items have been linked to her by DNA. So they did all their due diligence. 5-0 did their due diligence. They looked at the stuff. They scrubbed whatever they needed to scrub up, got her DNA and said, well, her DNA is on these rugs. Her DNA is on this hacksaw and all the other items that he bought. Let's not forget, he bought many other items, y'all. Many other items. Rags, towels, drop cloths, you name it. Everything you can think of to try to cover up this unthinkable crime that he committed against the mother of his own children. Okay. Moving on, during Brian Walsh's arraignment, prosecutors said I can't even say these words, but who would do this to anybody? Okay, he separated. For lack of a better term, I got to use these code words. It's so frustrating, okay? But he separated and he got rid of his wife. At multiple transfer stations across eastern Massachusetts. What kind of person is this? Walsh, 48, dumbass, 48, was indicted in March by a grand jury for the M of his wife for misleading a police investigation / obstruction of justice and for improper conveyance of human remains. Court documents outlined a series of grisly Google searches, which we will be looking at in a little bit, okay, which says all kinds of different things. Brian Walsh is also awaiting sentencing for a federal case because he's an idiot. And he's also a con man as well. After he pled guilty for wire fraud, interstate transportation for a scheme to defraud an unlawful monetary transaction. This dude is a piece of work. The federal charges related to a criminal case began in 2018 when Walsh was accused of selling 2 fake Andy Warhol paintings on eBay to a buyer in Los Angeles for the sum of 80,000 smackaroonies in a forfeiture order last summer, Walsh was ordered to turn over the paintings along with $225,000. Court documents released in April show Brian Walsh believed his wife was having an affair. Now, that's one piece that I think that even myself, we were speculating at the time. We were speculating that he probably thought, or she may have said, I'm having, I am in love or I'm with somebody else, blah, blah, blah. I want to be out. I want a divorce. You need to sign these papers. And of course, maybe he lost control. And again, maybe this is his MO. Maybe he's just a violent individual in general. Okay? Just in general. But let's go on. So he believes his wife was having an affair. In December 2022, Mr. Walsh suspected Ana was having an affair. Remember this. This is December 2022. This is a month before she disappeared. Let's not forget they rang in the new year, all the crazy we forgot, happy 23 kind of thing. And then she disappeared. So around a month before she disappeared, he was already suspecting that she was having an affair. During this time, he would repeatedly access the Instagram page of one of Ana's male friends from Washington, D.C., authorities wrote in the paperwork. Officials alleged Walsh's mother, on December 26, 2022, with his input and direction, hired a private investigator in Washington, D.C. to conduct surveillance of Ana for purpose of proving infidelity. So he had his. So if I'm getting this correctly, his mother hired a private investigator. His mother signed his own mother hired a private investigator for her son because he thought she was out here in Washington, D.C. knocking them boots behind his back. Maybe he just didn't want the paper trail to go back to him. Interesting. Or maybe his funds were frozen at that time. You got to remember, he has to pay what was upwards of $225,000. So that could be it too. Very interesting. With his input and direction. Grateful said, the what? Exactly. Yeah, Camilla. Wow. Just wow. Yeah, it's crazy. This is knuckin' futz. So maybe he didn't want the paper trail to come back. Interesting. Very interesting. But moving on, let's move on. Walsh's attorney, Tracy Minor, denied that her client suspected his wife was having an affair. The couple married in 2015 and have 3 young sons. And see, what's sad about this is that now they have these kids are without parents now. They have no father to look up to, no mother to look up to, no parent to lean on, to guide them or anything. Now these children are orphans. Because Brian, allegedly, which clearly he done did it, him guilty, he decided to take matters into his own hands and erase his own wife, the mother of these children, off this planet. And still he's out here saying that he didn't do a doggone thing, y'all. So much that police had to put in all this time. Let's not forget, in January, she went missing. It is August 22nd. according to the recording of this video right here, live. It's been how long now? And he's not helping out at all. They're doing all this due diligence themselves when he could just nip this whole thing in the bud and just say, here's everything. Like I said, tell me you did it without telling me you did it. Moving on, Ana Walsh was a dual citizen of Serbia and the United States and still has family who lives in Serbia. And of course, they even lost their daughter, their sister, their sibling, their cousin, what have you, gone. This piece of work right here. Law enforcement didn't find anything. Dang. Well, that's pretty crappy. That's pretty crappy. And Legacy, if you have that, if there's a article or anything like that, please send it to me. But still, no matter what, when I look at this, it's still not great news. If they didn't find anything, which I am going to play that video here just in a second, so we can just kind of nip that in the bud. But no matter what, it's good news. To me, this is a good thing because it motivates people to get her name out, to get this case out more. This is not really a case that's out here, y'all. It's weird. It's really, really weird. But by them bringing awareness, by saying, hey, there's some major development. They're searching in the Peabody area, apparently in one of the many places he may have discarded some of her remains. This is bringing some awareness to this case, period, point blank. And that's what matters, by bringing her story back up so that she can get some justice too. Real talk. But let's take a look at this video. Nonetheless, we should take a look at it regardless. Take a look at this video. Hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this. Okay, let's rock and roll.
Well, Jessica, we've been watching detectives go in and out of this wooded area right here, some of them carrying shovels. I want to give you a look at these woods. They run right along 95. That's I-95 North right up there. And we just watched 2 state police units pull out of this area. Take a look at this video. This is Sky 5 overhead, giving you a look from the air of where that search was happening. A source tells 5 investigates this search is connected to the disappearance and murder of Ana Walsh, who was last seen after midnight on New Year's Day. These woods run right along I-95. We know there's a walking trail that goes through the woods and under the interstate. At this point, police have not blocked off any of the area. Ana's husband, Brian Walsh, is charged in her murder. This search is happening less than a mile from the transfer station, where several items connected to the case, including a hacksaw and rug with blood on it, were found earlier this year. The 39-year-old mother of 3's body has never been found. Taking you live back out here to that wooded area where the search has been going on this morning. We know Brian Walsh has pleaded not guilty on the charges connected to his wife's murder. He is awaiting sentencing on the unrelated federal charges.
Okay. Now, we already know about the federal charges, how he's owing a great deal of money. He was selling fake Andy Warhol paintings. I can't even believe that. And I can see why her, I don't condone cheating, y'all. Okay. I don't condone it at all. I don't. I don't. But at the same time, I'm not surprised if she was looking the other way because of him and his wrongdoing, because of his conning piece of work. Now, King Bob just said, what day was this broadcast? This was from today. This broadcast was from today. And let me refresh this. This was posted literally an hour ago. Let me just show it to you guys so you guys can see proof positive right there. Let me right here. This was updated. This was put up an hour ago, just so y'all know. So if there really is This is the reason why they went in and they were looking in this area, because as they said in that article that I was just reading to you guys, there were several locations. One more time, let me show it to you guys. Tuesday's search site is between I-95 and a shopping center on Bourbon Street, less than 1 mile from the transfer station, where several items connected to the case were found in January, including hacksaw and a rug. And those had Ana's DNA on it. Just so that you guys know. So now they're looking into this, or they were looking into this, and apparently they have found nothing. But still, no matter what, my personal opinion, this is a step in the right direction, because it's been about 9 months. I think I just said that a second ago, or I didn't say that. Somebody else said that in the chat. It's been about 9 months since she went missing, since she lost her life. 9 whole months. And today is the first time we've heard any type of development in finding her. You got to remember, they do not have her remains. They don't have her remains. They have a rug with her DNA, a hacksaw with her DNA, and some other items, a whole bunch of other items with her DNA. That's it. That's it. Everything else is up in the air right now. They have no body. So understandably, it could be very tough for them to connect him and stick this to this guy without the remains. So they have to find her. But let's be real. A hacksaw, his search history, the red on the rug, all that stuff that was found. DNA that was found in the basement. If I remember correctly, there was also a hammer with some DNA on it as well. You get my drift? So there's been plenty of stuff with her DNA on it to give off the vibe that she is not here anymore. Period, point blank. And S-Dubs, I couldn't agree more. He is a shisty, nasty shyster. Yes. Is that how you spell shyster? Maybe not. But anyway, I get what you're saying. He's a nasty shyster. But I get what you're saying. Okay? And yes, Nicole, I agree. She deserves as much justice as any other person out here as well. Okay? So, if you remember correctly, this piece of work, Brian, did this unthinkable, and then he took a trip. When he took this trip, he went off, and he basically did a little bit of a detour, and then he went to go see his mama. He dropped off some items at a dumpster. Then he ended up, like I said, he did this detour, and then he went to his mama's. Now, if it's serving me correctly, I mean, I'm trying to find that piece one more time, because he was alleging, she's having an affair on me, man. He was talking to his mom. He was talking to his mama and saying, hey, well, apparently this is what the officials are alleging. I'm just going to highlight it. But they are alleging that through his mama, from him going, mama, come on, mama, help me out, mama. She hired a private investigator to go follow Ana because of Brian, because Brian felt like there was some sort of infidelity going on. Still wondering if that's actually true or not, but I wouldn't be surprised. Let's keep it real. Now, when you see this piece, he talked to his mama. And don't get me wrong, mamas are the original ride or dies. Okay, let's keep it real. All right. He went to his mom. Of course, I'm sure he was messed up, didn't want it to be connected, the paper trail to connect back to him. So he said, Mom, maybe he was like, I'll throw you some money, but it needs to go through you. And then he had some sort of private investigator check her out, allegedly. Walsh's attorney is saying that's not true, but at the same time, this is what officials are alleging. Now, you remember the day, obviously the day that happened, everything that happened. They had a huge, big dinner, very elaborate, very sophisticated, very, upper crust. Had some friends over for New Year's Eve. They rang in the new year, having a grand old time. And then after the friends left, she disappears. He alleged that because she had a job in Washington, D.C. for a big time real estate company, she was a regional manager for a real estate company out in Washington, D.C. He said that she had to go suddenly. She had to pack up her stuff and kick rocks and go out New Year's Day to take care of real estate stuff. When actually she never left. She never got into a taxi, no Uber ride share or any ride shares of any sort. She didn't even get onto a plane. You got to remember, this is Massachusetts. This is not like they were just in the DC area. She did not board a plane. She did not get into a rideshare or a taxi. Then he goes off and after she goes missing, before he takes this detour, this trip, before he goes off to the kid's grandmother's house, he goes and he starts searching things on the Google, which, by the way, if you're going to listen, I'm not trying to help any of you future monsters out here. I'm going to keep it real, but this is not what you do if you don't want to get caught. But please be dumb. Future criminals in the world, please be dumb so we can just get you. Leave the key behind. Leave a huge paper trail or huge breadcrumbs that lead you to him guilty. Period. But his Google search explains a lot. Let's not forget, this is a con artist. All he does is con people. He's not a professional monster. He's a professional monster in other ways by swindling and finessing into your pockets, but he's not somebody who just dreams of red. Right? He doesn't take people out for a living. He ain't Dexter up in this biz naive, is he? So why would a person who makes or sells fake paintings suddenly go into their Google searches and type in ridiculous things? Now, prosecutors say Massachusetts man conducted numerous searches for information about the decomposition and disposal of a body in the hours and days after his wife was last seen alive. In court, Norfolk Assistant District Attorney Beland told the judge about several pieces of evidence that officials had previously not disclosed to the public. That included a lengthy list of internet searches and precisely when each was entered, starting in the early morning hours of January 1st, New Year's Day, after she was allegedly jumping on a plane and flying off to DC to take care of work on a holiday. Let's not forget that. Now, they said the searches were conducted on his phone and an iPad belonging to one of his kids. And who does this? And it's a long list. Look at this. These were the searches that were on January 1st. Again, let's keep it real. Unless he was watching like Sopranos, which I doubt, and he's having a deep conversation with his kid, and his kid's like, how long does a dead body smell? When is a dead body smell? No, you're not having a conversation with your baby kid about this stuff. And it's not like he's watching Dexter and going, inquiring minds would like to know, enter. You're not doing that. So tell me you did it without telling me you did it. Let's look at this. Let's look at this ridiculous search. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. How long before a body starts to smell? How to stop there's a lot I can't even say here. 10 ways to get rid of it. If you really need to. He really I don't mean to laugh. This is just stupid. He said 10 ways to, if you really need to. Who? How? And this is all within, oh my Lord. Like clearly something happened. He did something. Maybe a couple hours later, he Googled at around 4:55 a.m. Then he stopped for 22 minutes and he said, I gotta ask Google again. How to this? Just how to. Then he stopped for 27 minutes. And again, he said, I gotta ask Google again. 10 ways if I really need to. Then again, he stopped. Or maybe he was going in many, many windows, a deep dive, going into a dark rabbit hole. But still, about 30-some minutes later, he said, how long for someone to be missing to inherit? Even my baby is sitting there tripping about this. She didn't like it either. All right? She don't like evildoers either. That's my baby girl. I can't even say any of this stuff, but you see it. Look at this. What does formaldehyde do? So he went to sleep for listen, between the can you throw them away at 6:34 a.m., he took a little nappy poo or took his kids out, woke them up, made them breakfast. Maybe, I don't know, did something. Made sure that they were occupied with their cocoa melon or something. And then out of nowhere, he goes, I gotta ask Google again. And he pulls it up and he says, what does formaldehyde do? And it continues. How long does DNA last? Can identification be made on, I can't say these things. Then he stopped for about an hour and a half. This guy is insane. Best ways of doing things. How to clean red. How to clean red from a wooden floor. Come on, y'all. Come on. All of these things were within that day. This is all just on day one, New Year's Day, where he claimed that she hopped onto a plane and flew off, unless he was planning on starting some new gig with the mafia. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make any sense. All of this stuff was seen on his phone in his little Google search in the Googles. I mean, it's stupid, y'all. Stupid. But he went out and made a lot of claims saying that she hopped on a plane and took off, but she never left. Then they went and they found all of this stuff. Him going and looking through all this stuff. Pretty insane. Let's not forget the other part of this as well. And to me, it's another one. Tell me you did it without telling me you did it. All right? Let me pull up this piece. And this is just idiotic as well. Now, this is the piece. Okay, let's just say he was just curious. He had a weird, in-depth conversation with a friend of his, having an argument about a movie or a TV show and waxing hypothetical about disposing of someone who is gone. Let's just say that. So he Googles those things randomly. Sure. Fine. Let's give him that. Fine. But let's not forget this piece here. And let me just show you guys the photos, because still, you're being alleged of doing something. You Google a whole bunch of stuff, and then you're caught on camera doing these things. Buying a whole mess of items for cleaning and tools. Let's not forget that. Showing up, walking around to like home, what was it? Like a Home Depot type of place. Okay? So let's take a look at that piece. Shall we? Like I said, sure. Having a hypothetical conversation. I've had weird conversations with friends before. Sure. I mean, I wouldn't be Googling that, but for that long and for almost a whole, like half a day. Let's keep it real. Especially around the same time that your wife goes missing. But hey, weirder things have happened, right? No, it really hasn't. But at the same time, just being facetious. But moving on, chilling trip, haunting dumbass Brian. Okay, his pics show him buying cleaning supplies after unaliving his wife and getting rid of her remains. So the images revealed to the public in court filings as part of the unaliving case against Brian Walsh, 48. Surveillance footage allegedly shows him going and buying cleaning supplies hours after he allegedly took his own wife, mother of his sons, off this planet. Again, tell me you did it without telling me you did it. Also, he left and he went to a completely different Home Depot. He went to a completely different hardware appliance store. He drove out of his way so that he could, because he thought that maybe they wouldn't be covering his tracks in this way. Ridiculous. At the time of her demise, Ana had become the sole breadwinner of the family through her real estate job in Washington, D.C., while Walsh stayed at home with the couple's 3 boys in Massachusetts. And that's, obviously this goes into like not trying to dive into the manosphere world or anything of that sort. Trust me, I am not. But maybe that's not what he promised her, that he would provide. And that she would not be the breadwinner, that maybe they would have a dual earning household. But him home chilling and doing nothing, especially conning fraudulent charges against him for doing things that he did before her life was taken. Yeah, that's a turnoff. I can see that being a turnoff. But I agree, Speculation Station, leave before you do that. Just, and file for divorce. Just go up to him and be like, I want them papers. Just sign the papers, man. That's it. Before it gets messy. Now, whoa. Now, let me say this too really quick, because I know some people get sensitive about these things. I'm not victim blaming at all. I'm just saying as a precaution for all of us in the future. Before it gets even worse, before it gets even more messy, maybe the best way is saying, hey, and this is all alleged, hasn't been confirmed if she was out here cheating or not. But to avoid any issues for yourself, Yeah, just leave gingerly and just go here. Here are the papers. Better sign them papers. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's it. That's it. But moving on. Now, we already know he was convicted of fraud for stealing. So this is the part that's crazy. The next day, after she disappeared, after he went and was Googling a whole bunch of stuff, and maybe whilst he was Googling all this stuff, the next day, Walsh visited several stores, including Home Depot, Lowe's, and CVS, buying cleaning supplies, plastic sheets, hazmat suits, a hatchet, and a hacksaw. Again, tell me you did it without telling me you did it. In the days after his wife's disappearance, he was seen visiting the dumpsters of apartment complexes near where his mother lives. So like I said, he was on his way to his mother. He took little detours and he dropped off things. Some of these things were found in these dumpsters, but they have not found anything that relates to her remains. Hence the reason why they were going into in the Peabody area off of the I-95, if my memory if my memory serves me correctly. They were doing a deep dive in that area. They found nothing as so far. I mean, today, right now, but they were thinking that maybe he discarded her off the side somewhere in that area. But he went to several places, guys. So I'm sure they're going to every single spot to see if they can find some semblance of her. And I will say this too, real quick before we continue, because this is very, 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 very sad. But I would hope that B-Dubs here, BW, Dumbash 48, I would hope that he would just do the right thing for the sake of his own children. Can you imagine? I mean, these boys are still very young, but imagine those kids growing up and still not getting closure on their own mother's demise, on their own mother's passing, not knowing where her remains are. You're doing a disservice to your own family, to your own children. So I would hope that he would do the right thing and not be a jackass. But let's move on. Prosecution claims that Ana's dismembered remains were placed inside the bags, but they were moved by trash services and incinerated by the time police searched the dumpsters. Several items of clothing were found. However, including Prada boots. How do you say that? Hermes? Hermes? I don't, you know what I mean? Hermes watch. A Gucci necklace the mother was seen wearing when she was last seen alive. Traces of her DNA were also found. Traces of her own blood and DNA were also found. So this guy went and got a whole bunch of stuff to go do the unthinkable. You see right here, getting cleaning supplies, a hacksaw, an axe. Where's that again? Yes. Hazmat suits, a helmet, a hacksaw, cleaning supplies, black plastic sheets. So clearly this dude was up to no good. Clearly, still up to no good doing all this stuff. He sat down, he plotted. Well, actually, he did what he did. I think he got very angry. Maybe she admitted to something, or maybe she said she wanted a divorce. Maybe after a few too many, she said, I've had enough. I'm out of here. I'm taking the kids. I'm done. Obviously, speculation here, right there. And maybe that set him off to the point where she lost her life. Then after all that, he took the time, hours after, to try to sit there and figure out how to get rid of her, how to cover up his own tracks. He Googled for mainly half the day, and then he came up with a plan. So he went and he said, hey, it won't look weird if I go to different places and pick up all these things. The police, if I ever get caught, won't be able to piece this whole thing together. Oh, but they can. They have photos. They have his Google searches showing that he plotted and tried to plan out how to get out of the situation that he got himself into. At the end of the day, you got a monster. Whether it was premeditated or if it was a crime of passion, you still have somebody at the end of it trying to cover his own tracks, and still to this day is trying to maintain that he is innocent in this whole situation. Are you telling me that your little kids, they're all babies, you're telling me your little kids went and Googled this whole thing themselves? All those kids that are watching Coco Melon and playing Minecraft and stuff, you really think they're sitting there Googling things like that on your phone as well? Did they make a mess so bad that you had to go get a hazmat suit? And last I checked, the lockdown is over. So maybe not, but maybe rev it up again. We don't know. But at the same time, you buying hazmat suits, a hacksaw and a hatchet. And I guess the other part is, are you an outdoorsy dude? Do you suddenly just got suddenly the calling of Paul Bunyan, where you're like, I just want to chop down some trees with a hatchet? Okay, guys. Like I said, math ain't mathin'. If he's sitting here trying to say that he's innocent, this is the dumbest criminal in the history of dumbest criminals. All the breadcrumbs. Shoot, these are not even breadcrumbs, y'all. It is a paved out road that leads to him being guilty and being charged within the fullest extent of the law, just on the evidence alone. And if it's true that a few days before, around December 26th, his mother was hiring a private investigator to follow Ana because through him, he believed that she was out here having some other extracurricular activities with another man, that's motive. Period. So, doesn't make any sense at all. Let me get the super chat really quick. S-Dubs, thank you so much for the 2. Oh, please no P-Dubs. I'm sorry. My bad. I won't do that anymore. All right. But this guy's an idiot. And I hope that he is going to get everything I hope he gets everything he deserves. I hope he gets everything that's coming to him. There's motive right here, guys. And if they can really connect the private investigator, the conversations that he was having with his mother before she lost her life, there's motive. Then on top of it, you have everything else. Items bought, the Google searches, the fact that he was lying at first, saying, oh, no, she hopped on a plane and she flew away. All that stuff. He clearly was trying to cover his tracks and buy enough time so that he can get rid of as many items and her remains as quickly as possible. Now the only thing that remains is, where is Ana Walsh? Where is she? They're finally doing their due diligence, and I'm not sitting here saying that they weren't before, but maybe they were trying to find some evidence that would make them go and search in that particular area earlier today or just a little bit ago. But now they're saying that they have not found anything as of yet. Now, one other piece that I do want to point out really quick is that hold on, guys. So apparently there is a hearing for Brian Walsh, allegedly tomorrow. Again, I just hope that she gets, I hope that she gets justice. Allegedly, there's a hearing for him for her tomorrow, or for him tomorrow, but we will see what happens here. But man, it's just ridiculous, y'all. Felicia, thank you so much for your comment on Facebook. I appreciate it. Your podcast is so captivating. Pascal, you get me through my work shift. Thank you. Sometimes I rewatch just to make sure I get the full gist. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. The Facebook fam has been growing beautifully, and I really do appreciate it. You guys are still, Facebook is still very brand new, but I do appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Felicia. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. That means the world to me. But of course, I'm going to keep an eye on this story and on this case. There are other cases that I was planning on doing today to bring awareness to. Hopefully, I will have a pop-up for you guys later on tonight. That's all depending on what I get, if I have time for tonight. But nonetheless, allegedly, Brian Walsh will be having a court hearing tomorrow. They're trying to stick this on this guy, but they don't have a body yet. And what they need is her remains. Her remains need to be found so that they can take him all the way down. Take him all the way down and bury him under this doggone prison. What's frustrating is this mother of three just needs a place to rest. She needs her final resting place. A place that her sons can go and visit and give her the respect and love that she rightfully deserves. This is beyond the relationship between him and Ana. This is about their children. This is about family being able to see her, give her love, put flowers on her graveyard, on her gravesite, on her birthday, and on the anniversary of her passing. Those types of things. Every family member deserves that. Just to be completely real. It's funny because as much as I think about that, today's my father's birthday. Reason why I'm wearing black right now. And I'm going to go see my father. He's no longer with us, but I'm still going to go and spend time with my family, spend time with my father, and give him the love and the respect that he rightfully deserves. Ana Walsh deserves the same respect. She really does. And I really, really hope that Brian, even though he doesn't have much of one, I hope he does grow a conscience here very soon and realizes that this is beyond his relationship with her and what she may or may not have done. This is about the family that are still going to be left behind that rightfully deserve to give her love and respect when they at a place where they can go and do it. So if Brian is listening to this, which I highly doubt, I just hope he finds some place in his heart to come clean and say exactly where she is so she can be put to her final resting place properly. Anyway, guys, that is the show. Happy birthday, Dad. We love you and we miss you. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that reaction button as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, do not forget, if you're watching on Facebook, hit that follow button. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Spend some time with your loved ones. Real talk. I'll see you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Have a great one, guys. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.